What's up, Grace Girls? Welcome to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast, where we focus on helping Black women change their lives by discarding negative thoughts, pivoting in the right direction, and shifting their mindset through cultivating a trauma free lifestyle. I'm your host, Courtney Christten, educator, content creator, life coach, counselor, and mental health enthusiast living in Houston, Texas. I created the Allow Yourself Grace podcast because I wanted to create a space for Black women to share their thoughts, feelings, and stories that make them who they are without fear of judgment. Allow Yourself Grace provides emotional support and encouragement within the Grace Girls community for women in need of non biased opinions from women other than family and friends. Personal development, self care, career, faith are among many of the topics we will discuss on this platform. Allow Yourself Grace podcast is here to encourage Black women to live unapologetically and thrive in being authentically who they are and were designed to be, an entire vibe. No topics are off limits. We will cover it all. Now, grab a notebook, pen, sit back, and enjoy the show.
What's up? What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Allow Yourself Grace podcast. And look, y'all, I have another special guest. We've been having some phenomenal guests. I'm excited about the guest I have today because it's something that you all can be involved in that she has. And so I'm happy to have her share her story. And yeah, we're going to get into the episode. So I always like to have my guests introduce themselves so that I don't forget anything. So I'm going to go ahead and have her introduce herself.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Charity Locke, and I am the co-founder and CEO of the Mixer app.
Okay. All right. So tell us a little bit about where you're from and how you kind of got into the tech side of things.
Okay, so I'm originally from Alabama. I went to the University of Alabama, Roll Tide. Went to school there where I met my husband. I was majoring in PR at the time, and then
Mhm.
also went to school for marketing. And then we both moved out here when my husband got his job, and I started my career out here as well as a market analyst, working in oil and gas tech. I also um, went to another job that was in tech and worked as a market analyst, and that's kind of how I went into my tech background.
Okay.
And then yeah, then just moving to Houston in 2019, right before COVID era. Was looking to make friends and was
Mhm.
just having a hard time, and just met a lot of people that were wanting to be able to make friends faster and
Mhm.
not have to go through, apps
Mhm.
where you have to swipe for people and where things really aren't happening. And so yeah, we couldn't find anything like that, so we took on that challenge,
I
and
love
that's where we
it.
came with Mixer.
I love a challenge. So let's talk about how different Alabama and Houston is, first
It's
off.
so different.
So coming from Alabama to Houston, where everybody's spread out, I mean, you have to like every community is its own entity. It's kind of
Mhm.
like Cypress, and then you have Katy, and then you have
Right.
Humble, and then it's like everybody's spread out. So
Mhm.
what was that like for you guys first coming? I know you said you had a hard time, but what were you thinking? Like some of the things that were going through your mind during that time?
Oh, I immediately fell in love with Houston.
Mhm.
Like, it's so funny because we used to live right around the corner from your studio.
Mhm.
And so today we just got to go over that ramp again where we see that
Yeah.
skyline. And I was like, man, I remember seeing this for the first
Mhm.
time and just thinking, oh my gosh, I love it. So yeah, there's just so much to do. I mean, we're big foodies, so we
I
get to
love it.
try a lot of restaurants, things like that. And yeah, in Alabama, you don't really get that.
Yeah, it depends on what part of Alabama you're in because we went through Alabama a couple times when we
Mhm.
were doing like road trips and things, and we kind of stopped and stayed and like toured different areas. And one of the things I was adamant about was trying their soul food because I
Mhm.
wanted to see, because I'm a country girl, so I'm like,
Okay.
okay, I want to see the difference between our soul food and kind of Alabama soul food, and
Mhm.
it was good. There is a difference, like with some of the stuff, but
For
it
sure.
was really, really good. So I really enjoyed the experience because there's a lot of like Black history
Yes,
monuments
definitely.
and stuff there. So it was cool, but it's really country. And a lot of people don't know that. I grew up in the country, so it didn't bother me, but it's
Yeah.
very rural in certain
Yeah,
parts.
even living in Birmingham, like there's a lot of hills and trees and things like
Hmm.
that too. So like Yeah, it's pretty much country wherever you go.
Yeah, yeah, and it's kinda like when you get out of the country, I don't know if it's like this for you, but when now that I'm like, I don't live in the country, I live in the city,
Mhm.
it's like when I go back to the country, I'm ready to get back
Oh,
to
yeah,
the
for sure.
city because I like the convenience of
Yeah,
having everything close. So your app that you created really allows people to connect. So you're
yeah,
here, you're like, "I like it here, but I don't know anybody." So
exactly,
then you guys decided, "Hey, let's create something where people can meet."
exactly.
So tell me about what that was like starting off.
Oh, it's been a super tedious process. I mean, first it was just kind of like ideas, and I was just
Mhm.
kind of expanding on it, like, oh my gosh, I could do this and I could do that.
Right.
And so just the process of getting the ideas out into an actual app was very long. I mean, we've dealt with like a lot of bugs and
Oh,
things like that,
wow.
setbacks. We originally wanted to promote the app like last year,
Mhm.
June, July. And so we ended up not actually releasing the app until January. So
Oh,
you can just
wow.
imagine like that 6 months of just, man, we can't put it out yet. We got to fix this. So
Yeah.
it was hard, but we just had to keep going and
Yeah.
we finally made it out.
Yeah, because it's on the App Store.
Yes.
I was like, "Oh, shoot," because I went to your page and I was looking and I was like, "Oh, shoot, it's on the App Store." And so I want you to kinda talk about how it works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so with the app, anybody can create an event or a hangout,
Mhm.
whether it's just meeting up for coffee, meeting up for drinks, wanting to try a new restaurant.
Nice.
I mean, there's so many things that pop up in Houston. You see like on TikTok, on
Right.
Instagram, and
Yeah.
anybody think like, oh, I want to go, but I don't have anybody to go with.
Yeah.
So it's made for those type of things. And so
Mm.
anyone can create an event and you'll see on your home feed things that are happening around you, what other people are doing, and you can join their events or they can join your events as well.
Okay.
And then the cool thing about it is once you create an event and people join, it'll create a group chat so that you can talk to other people that are going as well before
That's
you get there. So
nice.
you kind of, make some
That's
connections and
nice.
you're not showing up blind and like not
Yeah,
knowing
because it's like a
who's there.
all-in-one. You don't have to download 2 separate apps. You can do everything in that
Exactly.
one app.
You don't
That's
have to
cool.
get people's numbers, create other group chats on different apps, stuff like that. So
That's
yeah.
like and I like because you said something on one of your captions, you're like, "We're helping you, make it out of the group chat."
Exactly.
Yeah, and I was like, "That is so true because it's like, "No, let's create it right now.
Exactly.
Let's take action and go ahead and
Right,
start."
that's
Yeah.
one of our things, we like to lead with action. So,
Mhm.
sometimes you meet people, whether it's like on Facebook group, things like that, and you're like, "Oh, who wants to go here?" And then
Yeah,
you have to kinda get things together, and then you might not actually end up going at all. So,
true.
we like to lead with action, so you have the plans right there, and then people can just join and make it easy.
Yeah, and so you've held a couple events yourself.
I have many
So,
events.
yeah, tell me about that because I saw some and I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah, I mean, I just really go on the app and I put up all the things that I wanna do, like all the restaurants, bars, speakeasies, lounges. I
Wow.
just go ahead and put them up there, and then I put them up there for other people to see, and I also share them to, like, Facebook groups and things that
Mhm.
I'm in, and I get a lot of traction that way. I see women that are like, "Oh, that's really cool," and they actually download the app and join. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
because I
it's
see a
been a
lot of
win.
people looking for friends. Like, a lot of people I see, like, if they're living in Houston, some of them aren't from Houston, they're like,
Mhm.
"Where's everybody at? How do I meet people?"
Right.
I saw one creator, she held an event. So this is, like, perfect for stuff like that because she held one for singles, like,
Mhm.
she was looking like, "Where's all the people?" And
Right.
so she had more people than she thought, and I'm like, imagine if she woulda utilized that app, it
Right.
probably would have brought more people, and it could have
Mhm.
been a little bit more organized because I think
Yeah.
they were struggling with that part of making sure everybody knows what's going on,
Mhm.
getting the word out there, because social media only allows you to when you post, like, there's no guarantee that everybody's gonna see it.
Exactly.
Because, of course, they want you to pay for ads because it's business. So I get it, but that allows everybody to communicate
Yes.
and without the hassle of, oh, who saw it? Like you posted it, but it's no guarantee
Exactly.
that.
It also helps you to know exactly who's coming because everyone will
Yeah.
be within the group chat, and you can also communicate within the app as well, make sure people
Hmm.
are getting your alerts. So yeah, it's just a lot of problems that we're just trying to solve with
Yeah.
social media. And then you mentioned like a lot of times people won't actually see it. And
Hmm.
yes, because the algorithms on
Yep.
Instagram and Facebook, they're just so crazy. So you never really know if your post is even making it to
Right.
where people can see it. So
Exactly. So let's talk social anxiety though, because you
yes.
are meeting up with a group of strangers. So I want to know, like, when you guys thought this through, did you think about that?
Oh, yes, for
Okay.
sure. I mean, it's made for people with social anxiety.
Okay.
I struggle with that myself.
Okay.
And part of the reason why I wanted to create the app is because I went to a lot of networking events on my own. And it's
Mm,
very intimidating when you're walking full into a room full of people
strangers.
and
Yeah.
it's like hundreds of people and you don't know where to start. And, I've had to like just put myself out there and just, try to go in and talk to people and get out of my comfort zone. And so with this app, we focus on intimate gatherings, so
Yeah.
small group meetups where it's like less than 10 people, ideally. And then you can, like I said, get to know the people before you come. So you're
Yeah.
not showing up exactly blind.
Right. You kind of like, oh, are you so and so?
Right.
So when you had your meetups, did you know any of the people, or were there all people like you were talking to through the app and
Yeah,
then you guys met up?
I haven't known anybody that's
Oh,
actually
okay.
shown up. Yeah, so everyone that's come, I've met through like Facebook groups and things like
I
that, or just
love
putting it on
it.
social media.
That's so awesome. I mean, I love it. I love it. I love it. So when you guys went, because you guys have been going to like events
Mhm.
and kind of promoting it and
Yes.
speaking with different people, getting people to download it.
Mhm.
What's the some of the reactions that you guys have gotten?
It's so funny, and I feel like I don't wanna, like, toot my own horn, but
Yeah.
we haven't really gotten any negative feedback. Like,
Yeah.
everyone that we've talked to has given us such great feedback, like, "Oh my gosh, this is so needed. Like, I could use this for XYZ," giving us use cases.
Mhm.
People even give us ideas, like, "Have you thought about implementing this or
Yeah.
that?" Or, "I struggle with this. Is there something for that?" And so we get a lot of, community feedback that we plan to implement into the app.
Mhm.
And the only like negative feedback that we get is, people might compare it to like Eventbrite or Meetup. And we're able to tell them those differences and
Yeah.
just have those conversations. But like, yeah, we've gotten a lot of good feedback and it just makes us or helps us know that we're in the right spot and we're going in the right direction.
So when you say compared it to Eventbrite, does it have some of the same features other than posting your event? I got
Right.
that part, but
Yeah.
how is it? It doesn't seem similar to me other than that.
Yeah, it's way different than Eventbrite. For one,
Yeah.
it's more of a personal experience because
Mhm.
with Eventbrite, people put events out there, and then
Yeah.
you don't know who's going, and you definitely can't communicate with the people
And you
there.
don't really know who's having the event. I mean, you can click on it and see, but you don't get to kind of, like you said, communicate with them. So
Exactly.
I didn't think that when I saw it. I was like, oh no, this is different.
Yeah, it's way
Yeah.
more of a social aspect.
Yeah, it's different, and it took a lot of, like, brain work and, like, I'm sure you guys strategizing together and thinking through it
Absolutely.
to say, "Okay, what can we do to make it different?" So,
Exactly.
I take my hats off to you guys for that because I'm all about different. I'm all
Yeah.
about creating your own lane and making your own, your something of your own. Because
Yeah.
you can look at something and tell when it's not original. You're
Exactly.
like, "I
When it's
seen
just
this,
copy and paste.
right, I've seen this before," or "This sounds similar to" yeah, so no, I didn't get that, so hats off to you guys for that
Thank
because I
you.
love creative people, people that think outside the box,
Yes.
that don't just think like, "Oh," so I love that. So what has it been like? And I'm asking this question because I work with my spouse.
Yes.
And I know there's other women out here. There's a small percentage of us, but there are people out here who are husband and wife partners and coming together and kind of finding, okay, what am I good at? What is
Mhm.
he good at? What are we gonna argue about that we know we need to separate?
Right.
So how has that been for you guys?
I mean, there's ups and downs for sure,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's been so much fun overall. Like,
Hmm.
my husband's my best friend,
It's
so we
fun.
get
I
to wake
told
up
y'all.
and do this together every day. And we have like a perfect balance. So he has like a software engineering background, so he can
Mm,
handle like the tech side of the app, whereas I have a PR marketing analytics background, so I can handle more of the promotion and things like that.
yeah,
So
it just works
it's a
well.
perfect
I
balance.
love it.
So we definitely have our differences, and
Hmm.
but I think the best thing about working with your partner is that you know each other's triggers and I guess you could say how to argue and you
Yeah,
know how to move past things more easily. So I
yeah.
definitely think it'd be easier doing it with your partner than it would be like maybe a friend or a colleague.
See? 'Cause, you get a lot of negative feedback, and it's like,
Mhm.
"I can't work with my spouse. How would you work with your spouse?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna" every time I get a chance to interact with other entrepreneurs who are married, I'm gonna
Mhm.
ask the question because I do feel like it can work.
Yeah,
It
for
can work,
sure.
and I want people to see that it works,
Yes.
and that it's possible, guys, to work with your spouse. Like, it's not always a bad thing, and you already trust the person, so you don't really have to worry about trying to discern, is the person really
Exactly.
right for your part to be your partner, or you don't have to do a lot of through a vetting process because you
Right.
guys have a common goal and you're working together. And so I love it. So
Exactly.
um I originally, when I approached Charity, I was like, "Oh, hey, I want to get you and your husband on," and she's like, "I don't think he's gonna do it." And I was like, "Well, you can come on mine, and then he can see how it goes, and maybe he'll want to do it." But
No, we're
he's
both
here, he's
introverts.
supporting, guys, so we love that, and I love that he's all about like let her do her thing,
Exactly.
because that's rare too. Both people supporting each other in their own capacity.
Yes.
Can sometimes it can the lines can be blurred. So I love that. And you guys are still considered newlyweds because
Mhm.
y'all got married 2023, I
Yeah.
saw. So
Thank
congratulations.
you.
And tell us a little bit about how the married life is going. It's going good?
It's going great. I mean, I feel like we are continuing to grow. I mean, our
Hmm.
relationship is getting better and better.
Yeah.
We were together about 8 years before we got married, so it's kind of just like, oh, okay, we're still
Yeah, it's still the
it's still the
same.
same. But I mean, we still like marriage is definitely a journey, and there's like
Yeah.
no end goal, and so
Yeah.
you're just continuing to
To
grow and
evolve,
learn.
yeah,
Exactly.
and grow together, which is the most important part.
Exactly.
And so as far as you guys in the app and where you wanna go with the app, are you planning to grow your team? Are you planning to expand? Like,
Oh, absolutely.
what do you foresee coming?
Yeah, we definitely want to scale. We hope to have like an in-house development team at one
Mhm.
point to help get out all the features that we have coming up.
Yeah,
We definitely want to build our marketing team. So right now it's just us two kind
yeah,
of wearing all the hats,
I
and we're like,
understand.
we can't wait till we
I
have
can
more
relate.
hands.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a post about our experience at South by Southwest. Like all the other big booths were like had hired people to break down their booths for them, and then it was
Mm.
just us two just working on our booth by ourselves. So we're like, man, we can't wait to hire a team. So
Yeah, but
we
I
definitely
think
want to grow.
I think being able to work in your business in the
Hmm.
beginning really helps you later on when you're
Yeah,
building your team because it's like
you have to
you
know
don't go,
everything that's going
yeah,
on.
you know
Hmm.
everything, and it's kind of like if they need help, you can jump in and help them.
Exactly.
Because I just believe that you don't want to be the leader that's like always delegating, but
Hmm.
you can't do the job. And
Right.
it's like, no, I can do it. And I
Right.
want you to know that I can do it because then I feel like your work ethic is gonna be a little more like
For sure.
I need to get to it because she can really do it.
Hmm.
So that's what I think when I think team because we talk about growing our team a lot, and when we think about it, we're like, man, we want people to know like, hey, we're training you personally because we do know how to do it, but
Right.
but we also need the help, and we want you to come in with a mindset of oh my god, they love what they do. I want you
Exactly.
to love the brand just as much as we do.
Yeah.
And not everybody coming in with their own like mission in
Hmm.
mind because I feel like that can be difficult
Yeah.
when you're trying to be the boss and grow the team and then
Yeah.
this person has their own agenda
And
with
that's definitely
something.
a fear of ours as well, because you want people to come in that are going to be as passionate about your
Yeah.
mission as you are. And, I like to watch a lot of Gary Vee and stuff like that, and he'll tell you like, it's your company. No one's going to care about your company as much as you do.
Yes.
But hiring the right people is definitely, a fear of ours, and we just
Yeah.
want to make sure we can do that.
Yeah, and then making sure the business side of things is taken care of because I think sometimes we go into things blindly. Like we like the people, okay, you're hired,
Mm-hmm.
but we forget to take care of that back end. So making sure like we have our NDAs in place and we have all these things in place so
Yeah.
that you don't end up in a situation where, you're like, man, I trusted this person. This person came in
Yeah.
and just turn my company upside down. So, because I've seen that happen before. So I think when we're going into business, it's key. And I also want to talk. about a little bit about being in business as an African American person.
Mm.
What has that been like in the tech field? Because I know like now it's a thing, right, with Black people being in tech, but maybe I'm gonna say that just became a thing. What, maybe the last 5 years? I don't know. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I
I
think.
mean, yeah, even with my experience being in tech, like since I graduated college around 2018, you
Hmm.
don't see a lot of us at all.
Right.
And with us being at South by Southwest, I mean, we had so many people of color just come up and say, "Oh my gosh, like y'all are the only black, tech
Wow.
company that we've seen in this whole entire convention center." And
Hmm.
so it definitely makes us feel great that we're in that spot and we can be that representation. I mean,
Yeah.
we even had young college girls saying like we want to start our own company. And so I love that we can be that example and
Hmm.
show other people that it's possible.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely kind of hard because there's nobody to give us like a roadmap or anything. So we're just having to kind of
Yeah,
figure it
you
out
hit the nail
our
on the head because that's what I was getting
own.
to. Not having that road map, but you're blazing the trail. And so I'm just applauding you guys for that. But not having that road map, oh my
It's
God.
hard because there's
Yeah.
nobody to kind of tell you like
Yeah.
what to do, what not to do,
Yeah.
and it's just been a learning experience. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's just a journey.
Yeah, it's a journey, but we need more people like you, and I love that you guys are walking Black
Mhm.
history. Like I always say, this is like it's amazing that all of the opportunities that we have, and you guys are just embracing that. And
Yeah.
now you're gonna be able to teach somebody else.
Yes.
Hey, if they have questions, you can
Mhm.
answer them, or how those girls felt comfortable coming up to you.
Yeah.
And so having that representation is so important. And so I'm looking forward to seeing the brand expand and
Yeah.
the app add new features. Do you guys have any events coming up in Houston that you guys are planning?
Not events for within our own company.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, we don't have the budget for that.
But
Because we were like,
oh
we want to do
yeah.
a big launch party and
Hmm.
we want to have it here and invite these people. And it was just like, yeah, we're just
Yeah.
gonna do something small at home, just
Right.
us two.
Right.
So hopefully, like by the time like our 1 year anniversary comes around, like we can do something big.
Yeah.
But right now, we're just trying to grow and meet people and make
Hmm.
connections so that when something like that does happen, we can do it.
Yeah.
Um, just do a great event.
Have you guys thought about like connecting with real estate agents?
We haven't thought about that yet,
Yeah.
actually.
I was thinking that when you were talking, I was like, this would be great for them because they're always trying to, have events where,
Like open houses and
like
things like that.
networking
Yeah.
events. No, but they do a lot of networking events too.
Okay.
So like something like that would be great for them as
Yeah, we'll
well.
have
And
to look
so
into that for
I
sure.
have a client that I'm thinking of, and I'm gonna tell him about it
Okay,
because I'm
awesome.
like he could definitely use this with his brand. He has one huge brand in Houston,
Yeah.
so because he has events all the time,
Yeah.
so he
And
may.
that's great. That's what I mean. Like we get so many different use cases the more we
Yeah.
talk to people. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, this can be used for, I mean, all
Pretty
industries
much
really,
anything. Yeah.
because Eventbrite is being used, but it's being used just because I feel like people feel like they don't have other choices.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I see it a lot, and I'm like, you could have used something else that
Hmm.
probably would have been better for this type of event.
Hmm.
So the event that we met at, your app would have been perfect for that because how everybody wanted to stay connected afterwards.
And
You
actually,
know?
that's how I found out about it.
Mm-hmm.
So the girl, was it Denicia?
Yeah.
Okay, so she actually put the event on the app, and then
Mm-hmm.
I saw it, and I was like,
Oh,
oh,
okay.
yeah. So that's how I ended up going
Oh,
through there, and
nice.
so yeah, I was very appreciative of her putting it on there.
Oh, so
So that
she
was
found it.
cool.
I love
Hmm.
it. Yeah, because I was thinking, I'm like, that would have been great for that. So yeah, stuff like that is what I'm
Hmm.
saying. Like those type of intimate settings, like people usually
Yes.
they meet somebody or they like the group, they want to kind of stay connected,
Hmm.
and have those, you know, those events and those
Hmm.
conversations to continue. And I think they do have some stuff coming up because she sent me like an invite. So yeah, because that event was great, but I think it was short, and
Hmm.
so we all kind of were like, it's over.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that for that type of stuff. The next thing I want to get to is like when you guys are, sitting down and you're planning and you're strategizing, what are some of the things that come up as like things that you're like, okay, I'm probably gonna have to do some research or maybe try to figure out, like what's all the things that I want to talk about, like road bumps, because like sometimes people, they'll start something
Mm-hmm.
but they don't finish it
Mm-hmm.
because they run into a bump. So how are you guys navigating those challenges?
Like you said, just like doing research. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we're both like analytical minded, and
Yeah.
so whenever we see a challenge like that, it's just like, okay, we have to solve it. Like
Yeah.
it's like a puzzle.
Yeah,
Like
you're not gonna stop.
we wanna get to down to the bottom of
Yeah.
it. So yeah, and it's some of it is just trial and error. Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, like our pricing model right now, we definitely want to expand on it, but we don't really know how much people are going to be using the app, how
Yeah.
much they're willing to pay, things like that. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of a trial and error. So yeah, we use a lot of Chat GPT as well.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
we
trying to
get
figure it out.
roll bumps, yeah, and that's like a really good research tool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, you really have to keep going and
Yeah.
just
Just
figure things out as you
persevere.
go. Yeah.
And it's all about mindset. It's all
No, for
about
sure.
having the mind of, I want to get it done.
Hmm.
I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm not gonna stop until I get it
Exactly.
done. And you guys were at Mardi Gras,
Yes.
and you had your shirt
Uh
on.
huh.
What was that like? Did you go there with a purpose, or were you just going there to have fun? Like, were you?
So it's so funny because we go to Mardi Gras every year since
Oh, okay.
we met. And so it was just like, okay, if we're gonna go hang out, we might as well make like a marketing
Mm-hmm.
event out of it. So yes, we went and we had our shirts on every day, but we also had beads made with our logo on them. And so
Mm-hmm.
we went to Bourbon Street and we bought access to a
Smart. Come
balcony
on, marketing.
at a restaurant. And then we went out on that balcony and just threw out beats to people. And so that was like really
Mm.
fun. And yeah, it's cool to be on the other side too, like when
Yeah.
you're catching bees, but now you get to throw them. So
So
we
y'all
had a
went to,
blast.
but y'all went to Mardi Gras in New Orleans.
Yes.
But don't they have Mardi Gras in Alabama too?
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's where it like originated, Mobile, Alabama. That's actually the area where my husband is from.
Okay.
So quick fun fact that I learned
Mm-hmm.
recently. So back when like before Alabama was its own state, it was still like a Louisiana territory, and
Mm.
so that's how it originated there. And then I guess when the states separated, it moved to New Orleans. But yeah, people will tell you.
People don't know that
Yeah,
though.
people don't know
Yeah, I
that.
was shaking my head because I learned that recently, and I was
Hmm.
like, "Wow!" A lot of people don't know that
Yeah,
because they were
so
asking. I saw it on TikTok, and they were asking people from Alabama, like, "Why are y'all?" And they're like, "It originated here," because they're
yeah.
like, "Why don't y'all just go to New Orleans?" And they're like, "No, this is where it started."
Yeah, they have really big celebrations there
Yeah,
too, so it's really cool.
yeah, and it's like it's just like New Orleans,
Hmm.
really. But they have their own celebration, and it's a big deal there too. But I
Yeah,
think New Orleans gets most of the
the foot
recognition
traffic.
for it and most of the traffic as far as like tourists and
Yeah,
stuff. Because I think when people think vacation, they just don't think Alabama, but
right.
there's Orange Beach that's in
Hmm.
Alabama. Like there's a lot of other stuff in Alabama to see.
Yeah.
Because I just brought that up recently to my sister because they're talking about going on a trip, and I'm like, have y'all looked at Alabama? They're like, what? I'm like,
Like, what is
yeah, it's
there?
beautiful though. And yeah, they're like, there's nothing there. I'm like, yes, it is. Y'all need to look it up. So, and it's really close to Tennessee.
Hmm.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
there's stuff there. But I wanted that. But I just wanted you to get to the part where I saw that you used fun time to
Hmm.
merge it with your marketing for your
Yes.
business. Because I saw you with your shirt on. I was like, look at her. She representing, she's having
The first
fun,
one,
but
every day.
people are looking now to see, oh, what's that on your shirt? Or
Right.
so did you get a lot of questions while you were there?
Yeah, so people ask us like, "What is mixer?"
Mhm.
Somebody made a comment. He was like, "Okay, so is he the mixer and she's the chaser?" What's going on?
Oh my God, that is
So
funny.
it's definitely a conversation starter. But yeah,
Mhm.
we get to talk to people. I mean, even with the beads, we had like our QR code on the back, and I was seeing people like look at it like, "Oh, okay, what's this?" And we got some downloads from that as well.
Okay.
So yeah, it's really
So
cool.
you're seeing more people interacting. So it works in all states, everywhere.
Yep, anywhere
Okay.
in the U.S. and now we're available in all countries that are offered on the App Store. And we
Nice.
got a lot of feedback from South by Southwest. People were asking like, "Oh, is it available in this country?" And
Hmm.
we were just like, "Well, no, not yet." And so
Yeah.
people were like, "Okay, we'll wait for it." But then we talked to our developers, and they said, "Oh yeah, like we can have that on now." So yes, now it's
Nice.
available worldwide.
So just getting out and networking is also getting you more ideas,
Yes,
and you're able to add this stuff. Some of the
yes,
stuff you're able to implement right away. So that's
Mhm.
good because you get to kind of see what people are thinking and
Exactly.
what they're looking for.
And that's the trial and error
Yeah.
aspect of it because we really didn't know. We just thought like it would be easy starting in the US and we thought it'd be like a big process
Hmm.
trying to navigate different countries and things like that. But then no, then we found out you're just talking to people.
Yeah.
So networking is definitely such a helpful tool.
Yeah, and you would have never known that if you wouldn't have went ahead and launched it.
Exactly.
So you didn't wait for it to be perfect.
Hmm.
You waited for it to be okay, it's functional, it's doing
Yes.
the things we want it to do.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to put it out there so we can get feedback.
Yes, and that's been hard too because we're both perfectionists and
Yeah.
we want it to be perfect. We want it to look good, and
Yep.
but we get feedback from people saying like, "Oh, this looks so professional," and
Yeah.
"Wow, it's like not buggy," things like that. So we
Hmm.
get good feedback, so it makes us feel better. But we're still like, man, we're just not where we want to be. So that was hard.
It's always a higher level. It's always like
Yes.
people are like, "Oh, it's so nice. It looks great. It's this and that." And you're like, "That's not
What?
what that's not
Like
to
you like
me. It's
this?
not to my
What?
standards."
Right.
But okay, thank you. So I know. Are people surprised though when they see who created it? Like, do
Yes,
you get a
like
lot of like shock?
people were thinking that we were just like two people that were hired to work the booth, and they're like, "Oh, wait, like you're the co-founders?" Like, yes, this is our app. So it's definitely a surprise. I mean, we had
Yeah.
somebody that circled back and said, "Wow, I just learned from somebody else that this is your app. I had to come back and meet you."
Oh my
So yeah,
God.
it's
Yeah.
definitely a surprise to people.
Yeah, and it's especially if you don't look a certain way, right?
Mhm.
Because I don't know what we're supposed to look like,
Yeah, and we
but
don't either.
right? I'm like, what are we supposed to look like? Because we get that a lot too. Like, oh wait, oh you're the owner. I'm like, yeah, but okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to look like.
Right.
Yeah, it's so funny because when you get people that like see you or they come to your house or
Mhm.
something, it's kind of like, oh, because I sold I'm selling some stuff right now, and so I've cleaned out my garage, and the lady
Mhm.
came to my house, and then she bought something from me, and she's like, "Oh, and where do you work? What do you do?" I'm like, "Lady, you're here to buy something. Like I live here,
Like, why do I need to justify why I have what I
but
have?
it's
Yeah.
funny though. So I was just wondering. I'm like, do y'all get that too? Because
Oh, yes.
yeah, I can only imagine, especially with you guys being the only Black people at that event.
Yeah.
It could probably be like, oh, they're probably working for somebody.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they come over and ask questions?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
People
Kind of
were
like pick your
drilling us with
brain.
questions,
Oh,
yeah.
drilling.
Yes, I mean, it
Mm.
was just a lot, but luckily we were prepared because
Yeah.
I mean, it's our app, we know our product,
Yeah.
and things like that, so we were prepared and we handle it with grace, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Come on, Grace. I love it. And it's like when you perfect your craft and you become knowledgeable and
Mhm,
you care about what your brand looks like you say, you guys are perfectionists, so
mhm.
you care. So that means you're constantly investing. We're gonna talk
Yes.
about investing money.
Yes,
You're investing money, but you're also investing time
yes.
in studying the market and studying your craft and studying, the education behind it. Because tech is always evolving.
Mhm,
So you
for
have to
sure.
stay on top of, okay, what's trending and
Yes.
what do I need to add? What can I add? What do we have to work on adding? So it's an ongoing thing. So I
Mhm,
applaud you guys for taking the time to care. And right now we're in a time where everybody's talking about buy black, invest
mhm,
black, do all these things, and that I don't mind doing.
mhm.
But it's like when you don't take the time to care about what you put out there
Mhm.
or put time into it, that's when I have a problem.
Yeah.
And so I love to just see people putting their passion and effort behind something because their name is on it. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, they're going to want to know who created this app.
Exactly.
And you're like, when they find out, I want them to say, like, hey, we know what we have going on. They
Mhm.
have a good thing going on. It looks good. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it runs good. Those things. And so, how do you think you guys develop that mindset?
I mean, even, like, when we met, like, I'm, kinda jump subjects a little bit here,
Okay.
but even when people ask me, like, "How did you and your husband get together?" Like, "What
Yeah.
made you pick your husband?" It's just like he had everything together, like, he knew what direction he wanted to go in
Hmm.
life, like, he knew exactly what he wanted to do, how he's gonna get there, and, like, I felt the same way about my future, and so, I think that's really what brought us together, and even us just bouncing ideas, about apps and stuff like that in college. We always knew that we wanted to do something different and do
Mhm.
great things. And so just to be where we are now is just like so amazing for us.
God is so good.
So yeah, I guess
Yeah.
just to bring it around, like we've always kind of had like high standards, and
Mhm.
just knowing like in order to be great and to kind of do things above the rest, like you have to put in that work, and you have to kind of
Yeah.
be knowledgeable and
Yeah.
be a perfectionist, and you have to care
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's what being a team and being married is all about. It's just having that mindset of if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it well, or we're not gonna do it
Yes,
at all.
exactly.
And it's our common goal because
Mhm.
I think that's where people lack when it comes to being married or being a team. It's like one person has their own idea about how things should be,
Mhm.
and the other person is like, no, I'm driven, I'm ready to get this done. And then it doesn't work
Yeah.
because you don't have that common mindset. So I think that's the thing, marriage is not the most popular thing these days,
Yeah.
because women aren't submissive. But I don't want y'all to miss what she said.
Yeah.
If you heard what she said, he had a plan.
Mhm.
So it was easy for her to be submissive and follow and get on board because he knew where he wanted to go.
Yes.
She knew, like, oh my God, I want some of those same things.
Mhm.
And it worked. And so it can work. And so I want to encourage you because we have a lot of single ladies who watch the
Mhm.
podcast. I want to encourage you that, like, if you are looking for a partner, those are things you should look for is
Yes.
you guys having those commonalities. And if you see anything that's different, it's usually not going to work.
Yeah.
Like, don't force yourself to be somewhere that is not
Yeah.
aligned with where you're trying to go.
I mean, these are
Yeah.
things that I tell my younger sisters,
Yeah.
like, when you have a man come in your life, like, he should make things easier. He should not make your life harder. You
Yeah.
should not be, wishing he was doing this, that, and the other. Like, if he's not doing that, that's not the person for you.
Right.
So,
Right. And then having that person that you can go to at the end of the day when you can't go to anybody else.
yes.
Cause I don't want to be married and still have to go to my dad or still have to go to my mom.
Right.
It's like, why I get married? Because they gave
Exactly.
me to you.
Mhm.
And so I think those are things that you look for. I tell my little sisters that too. I'm like, y'all got slim pickings out here because what? I'm
The
like,
dating landscape is definitely
it's
different
not,
from when we were
yeah,
coming
it's
up.
different. And I'm like, Lord, I'm gonna just stay where I'm at because ain't nobody gonna put up with me.
Right.
Like nobody put up with me. So I love it, and I am so happy for you guys. I'm wishing you guys the best. I'm gonna have the app on the screen where you guys can go and download the app and show your support. So if you are having an event, make sure that you download the app and try it out. See if you like it. You can get out of the group chat because we're good at saying we're gonna do something and we don't do it. So this is a
Exactly.
good way to get out of the group chat. Is there anything else you want to leave with the people that you want to say that you want to get out there?
I don't know. I think we kind of covered
Yeah, I
everything,
think we
but
did. We did. We went all over the place, but that's what I like to do. I like to touch not only like the business side, but also incorporate some personal things just so people kind of get to know you, the person
Mhm.
behind it, and kind of what their values are and, their vision. And so thank you so much for taking time out to come and I'll get some of the footage over to you so you can share it. And you guys make sure you
Awesome.
go follow them on all social media platforms. I'll also have their Instagram up, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Well, guys, that concludes our episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast. For additional information about today's episode, please click the link in the show notes below. To learn more about our Grace Girls community and other resources we have to offer, head over to www.allowyourselfgrace.com. Until next time, Grace Girls, I love you all, be blessed, and continue to strive for success.